ExtraHuman, the game where you play as a fishman with a big stick smacking around giant mutant fish. That is my dream game, and that is what I will use to give people the fuel to follow their own dreams, because Ratchet & Clank 2002 inspired me, so we're completing this cycle, and after that, I have no clue. But we're in the demo arc with movement, combat, and attacks for both sides, and swarm duplicate. Oh. He should be dead now, but after an hour of setup, die Reefy! Awesome, that's fixed, but that is only for one. I need to get the attacking ball, which is a true or false value, from the currently attacking enemy regardless of which one that is. Sounds simple enough, but I don't know how to use inheritance properly. It's meant to allow common values and behaviors to be run from a parent script without having to repeatedly recreate them and use it 50 times a frame. So it'd be doing the same calculations 3,000 times in a second, when it could be 10. But the way I've been doing it doesn't allow for a ball to be set in every enemy individually, and I don't know how to access the ball of an unspecified child of the enemy, or how to do it from the player's script on collision. So my lack of knowledge of one area is limiting it on the other, and it the same backwards. But apparently I can just ask for the parent script from the child and use that. Apparently. Turns out that was wrong. Yeah, I'm back, and I have seen I was doing it a completely different way. Inside of a massive if statement, I checked if the enemy you're colliding with inherits from the enemy script, and if that object is attacking, which didn't work because all the inheritance check was concerned with was if there is an inheritance from the specified thing. It didn't care about what I wanted to do with it, so I moved it over to the child enemy script to trigger it there, and then I saw that I actually set up the thing for this earlier and it was working before. I just didn't know if it would still work, but cool. So, alright, health back, kill the enemy, and oh, I know. I've said delete the mesh when dead, but from the changes that I made to find out how to get the enemy spawning, that is a thing that has changed. So I say destroy the current object instead, and it'd be dead. Nice! Okay, now I want the enemy to rotate like it goes stomach up, like fish dead. And at a set point that I won't mention, it destroys. So, rotate and destroy. Oh. So I made it slower. Thought it was actually too slow because it just didn't do anything. Brought it back to the original quick boy and looked at it real good, aka STEM! And realized I needed a bigger number to make it take longer, which makes logic. So I flipped it, and it's 10:30 at night. I mean, cool, but that's not rotating. I said destroy if rotation is the target rotation, but that's not the target rotation. Okay, night, if I keep on going, it's gonna be 12 in no time. Meow. Figured it out! I didn't see this before, but it says rotating only when taking damage, because that's how I'm triggering it. Like, when you're attacked, that's how I do the method. So it was going too slow to be noticeable in that time frame where it was taking damage. Wow! I'm making myself sound smart. I've said go brrr when sprayed instead of a smooth, unreliable. Okay, I had the number the wrong way. I had the number doing my way, which it didn't like. So half an hour later, I figured out the way it wanted, and yeah. A smooth death. Now it's not destroying on my special case condition, but that's fine for now because I just want to move on and continue to make the swarm work. So instead of assigning the object name in each enemy, I just got the current enemy's child of a child of a child in that location. So now every baby enemy will act individual. Okay, Dinu and I can skate tomorrow. If I can just get the other enemies working together, I can leave the migration to the enemy parent script until way later. Then I can get started on the movement in animation, polish, and environmental implementation. Woo! Okay, good enough. They all work. There is about a 12% performance decrease because I'm not doing anything for it, but that's fine. I still gotta get proper collision for the begin, but right now it's time for new attacks for the beast sizes. That was really quick. So I went into the same for the claw, but something happened with the transform of that in Blender and I accidentally exported it into the wrong spot. So now the baby's claw isn't visible, but it is still spawning. And it's time for bed. So weep. I got it. The export settings were just wrong. I don't know why, and I don't care because it worked, but the model export was too thin at first, so maybe half an hour later I managed to reset everything as I wanted it, then baked it into the animation. Woo! I swear this is the same enemy script, just a little bigger and larger ranges. Oh, and I got the hand based off of that. So now with the normal swarm, there's a little bit of chaos, but back to the begin. First thing is collision. So obviously I could just slap on a box collider like I did with everything else, and then the enemy script will grab it from the collision object. But now the colliders needs to follow the pieces of the shark, so it won't just go when you do things, like pass things, it won't just bonk up here. Like if I had this pen and I had a collider like here, if I moved it there, it would hit me. I want it to move all the way down until it actually touches, then do damage. So I need to have each mini collider I put on be under the collision object that it looks for, but I need it to transform to follow the relevant bones. So I went and did some research, and not completely wasting my time, ignore that, and we found synthetic selection. That was the big thing that I realized has a ton of small colliders moving procedurally. And if you don't know what procedural generation is, it's good because it's pro and procedural. And Blender nodes? Then worm. Hold on, this guy's not even using collision?
This is mesh that we're going to stick to when we jump on it. So we're going to fire a raycast down from the player. We get some information like which mesh was hit, which triangle on the mesh was hit, and something very useful called a barycentric coordinate.
And the audio is not that bad, it's just recording the weird stuff. Basically,
now instead of iterating through every single triangle, I look at my current triangle in the list that I just made and I can see which edges are attached to it. I find the edge that I'm passing through. That edge in my new list also has information about which triangles are attached to it. One of those triangles must be the one that I just came from. So by process of elimination, the other triangle is the one that I'm passing into.
now I don't need to climb all the way up the big, and that's just a cool thing I want to do, given I have enough time to implement it later. So how about I just detect if the enemy's collider is touching any of the biggin's triangles. If the biggin's attacking while you're touching it, for now at least, you're gonna take some damage, and just that should work. So now I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of lists of an entire mesh that's somewhere between 30,000 and 100,000. Yeah. And I don't need to worry about playing costs, but I can still use that collision solution. Another thing that this guy hasn't even mentioned, environment collision. If I'm checking every triangle on this mesh for a touch every frame for all the environmental meshes in the scene, it's going to break something. But if I have another collider specifically for ground collisions that is a trigger so the player can just pass right through it, we will have simple collision for the ground based off of 5 boxes. Very nice. Now, to implement it with the current way I'm using colliders, or just ignore it and create alternate versions for just the giants, because I'm only using the colliders for damage. Yeah, and collisions. But it's kind of a big thing to change. Okay, now to lunch. Oh, hold on. I should do begins attacks while the models are still there and ready. So here's the final claw, and here's the jaw. Pow! It even fits together when it bites down. Mostly. Very cool. Now, to chuck it in and fix all the invisible faces again, because the things are too big. An element. Oh, I tried hooking up the bone to just all of the rocks and use a driver to drivers only work for other bones. Oh, well, I'm tired now, so for the last half an hour before continuing, I'm going to relax. Okay, first I'm going to get some water, see how we go, and time to relax. Man. Oh, it's Saturday now. I should probably stop so I can make the video. I've been logging my hours. No wonder I was tired yesterday. I did a lot of work. Well, the rest of that implementation stuff is going to be on the Real Game Company's channel next week, because I'm gonna alternate 1 week here, 1 week there, and loop. Thanks for watching. I thought I'd have more time, like always. Bye bye.